what's that joke? Like, you could build 100 houses. Do they call you the house builder? No. You could run 1,000 miles. Do they call you the runner? No. But you fuck one goat, and they call you the goat fucker forever. And that's basically what having donkey brains is like, right? Like, you have one bad donkey brains decision, and you're donkey brains forever.
All right. Welcome to another episode of Two Fight Fans, where we talk about all the things in combat sports. I'm one fight fan, Colin.
And I'm the Stewart.
All right. We got a lot. We got a few things to talk about tonight. So let's see.
You really pared that back. You started with a lot, and then you were like,
Yeah,
well,
I
a few
realized
things.
I realized the main thing we've got one big thing, but we had a few fights this weekend. Did you watch any of them?
I watched two. I watched the co-main
Ooh.
event, which is Steve Erceg versus Ode Osborne, and I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
watched Fluffy Hernandez versus Roman Dolidze.
All right, all right.
And you, I understand, watched none of them?
No. No, I did not.
Yeah, yeah. I don't blame
Yeah.
you. Though you did miss the beatdown of the year when Anthony Hernandez put a
I did see
whooping
the finish. I did
on
see the
Roman
finish of it.
Dolidze. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like a bouncer beating up a drunkard at a bar, right? Like really taking it to him.
Was he out on his feet when he got choked out at the end? Or like what happened with that? Because
Nah,
it
he
looked
was just
like
exhausted.
oh, okay.
It's
Because
the
it
classic Fluffy Hernandez thing of like just take you down, ride you. Like he's I don't people have been calling him like the middleweight version of Marab, and he's not quite that, but like he definitely Anthony Hernandez runs a game of just like I'm gonna even if you kick my ass, I'm gonna make this fight so insufferable that you're gonna gas out before I do, and then I'll put you away. And
oh,
that's kind of
okay,
what
okay.
happened. Though he didn't get his ass beat, he just routinely beat Roman Dolidze's ass because we didn't make picks for this fight, but like Roman Dolidze sucks, and I was like, yeah, there's no way he's gonna win. Roman Dolidze is not good. He's just not
Mhm.
good. He's not okay. Hold on. For the Earth, he could probably beat up most people, but for a UFC caliber
Professional
fighter,
fighting? Yeah.
yeah, he's not. He's not cream of the crop. He's not
Yeah.
even second rate cream. You know.
Ooh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that was pretty cool. Anthony Hernandez doing a bunch of cool shit. A lot of body work, a lot of cool like rides, purposely like not putting hooks in, make like giving up the ability for Roman Dolidze to escape and sweep and scramble because he knew it would make him more tired to do so. That's just cool. I like seeing that in a fight, seeing somebody like purposely go like, "Here's the escape route. Take it. It's going to take a lot of energy to get out, but you can take it." And then the person's like, "Fuck, I got to take it." And then they do it. And then they're like, "Oh man, I'm way more tired than I thought I would be." They're like, "Great, I'm going to put you right back in that position. You're just going to keep doing that same thing." Sort of the Sisyphean fight strategy, which I love.
Wow. That's a
Yeah.
good term right there that you use. Well educated.
Yeah, man. I went to a college.
A college.
Yeah, so not like you, Ivy League boy.
I
Ivy
didn't go
League?
to the Ivy League. Nah.
No, but like pretty. There's got to be some. I'm not gonna.
It's
I'm not
pretty
gonna dox
it's
where you
pretty
went,
preppy.
but
It's
yeah,
pretty
it's
preppy
super
too.
preppy. Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
like
yeah,
Koss
yeah.
shirts and guys named Bryson. Um,
Oh yeah, dude. I
yeah,
got boat shoes while I was there.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not Duke, but it's close. It's
It
close.
is pretty close, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Anyway,
right.
so that was the main event, and then the co-main Steve Erceg won. Didn't look as good, man. I tell you what, Steve Erceg since that fight with Pantoja, just quite. He just hasn't looked the same. Um, it could be the confidence, right? He lost that really hard fought fight with Pantoja, got knocked
Yeah.
out by
Kaikar France.
Kai Kara France, and then he lost a third one, didn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Who did he lose to though? Who was
so
it?
I can't remember, but like,
I'll
so
look it up.
maybe it's a confidence thing, but looked a little shaky to me.
Mm.
And I love Steve Erceg. He's my boy.
Oh, he
Um,
lost to Brandon Moreno. That's right.
that's right. That's right. Okay, so again, like title holder, title challenger, former title
Yeah.
holder, but Ode Osborne, he's way better than. And like, it shouldn't have been as competitive as it was, and like his defensive soundness looked pretty suspect. But he's back
Oh,
on these
really?
winning ways. He didn't make any donkey brain decisions, which was good to see.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
we never thought of him as a donkey brain fighter, except for when he did. Okay, he did do the weird.
he
I'm gonna shoot on
won.
Pantoja.
He won. I think we had a tie that last year for the Tiffies for donkey brain decision of the year, and he tied with I think Bobby Green
Yeah,
trying to
but
take down Patty Pimlet for donkey brains of the year. Like both of them won for taking down the person you're not supposed to take down.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. So whether he had a history before then, uh, look, right? What is it? What's that joke? Like you could build 100 houses. Do they call you the house builder? No. You could run 1,000 miles. Do they call you the runner? No. But you fuck one goat, and they call you the goat fucker forever. And that's basically what having donkey brains is like, right? Like you have one bad donkey brains decision, and you're donkey brains forever. Yeah,
Wow, wow.
yeah. So anyway, Anthony Hernandez, maybe should fight the winner of Hamzat and though we've got Rainier DeRitter. Man, dude, a Rainier DeRitter versus Fluffy Hernandez fight would be great because they're big two goobers who just like wear out their opponents by
You want
being indefatigable.
you want that to be your number one contender fight right there?
Well, because we also have Imavov versus Kai Bahalio. So like that's a number one contender fight too. But they're
That's true.
the
Yeah.
opposite ends of the middleweight spectrum, right? Like
Mhm.
one is like this is gonna probably be like a slow paced sniper, very low output fight where it's like one strike combinations, by which I mean just like pot shotting, maybe a knockout, but probably a much more tepid kickboxing fight. And then the other one is just gonna be a stupid ass slobber knocker, right? Like two rabid raccoons that are overweight from eating too many Krispy Kreme donuts in the dumpster fighting, right? Like that's what it's gonna look like. And I'm like, yeah, I'll watch that shit. Uh, Either way, I'm into it. And what, he's on an 8 or 9 fight win streak at this point, Fluffy
God,
Hernandez?
really?
Like,
Wow.
yeah, he deserves the shot. So let's I don't think he's ready for DDP or Hamza, but fuck it. Let's throw him in there. Why not? Why not?
Are you
Let's
saying that
get
because we
stupid.
literally have like no other options, or you just want to see like
Well, no,
wild,
because we have Rainier
crazy shit?
DeRitter. Rainier DeRitter could be an option. It could, which
Sure.
like I to be honest, if DDP beats Hamza, which I think he will, Rainier DeRitter versus DDP is like my number one like dream matchup at middleweight because it is there's some sort of like brother dynamic there where like Rainier DeRitter is taller, but definitely goofier and jankier than DDP. DDP is like
Mhm.
the older brother who's like jacked, but the younger brother still outdoes him no matter what, despite having like no defined muscle mass or anything. And I'm like, that looks like a match that I could really get behind. Just the goofiest. Both of them fight like, you know, like recently born giraffes on roller skates. And like that just, it
Oh,
sounds so cool.
Jesus.
It sounds so cool. Um, but yeah, if Anthony Hernandez jumped the line, I wouldn't mind it unless like Carvalho or Imavov had like an amazing knockout overall.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Though some people have been saying Robert Whitaker versus Anthony Hernandez or Israel Adesanya versus Anthony Hernandez.
Okay.
I don't why you know? Like why do that? That's what I say. Why do that?
Why not? Like, why do you think he like it just won't be a good fight, or like the skill disparity is too great? Like, what? What?
So like Anthony Hernandez whiffed. Anthony Hernandez only throws 1-2s, which are basically a jab and an overhand right, not even a straight right, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Classic MMA.
clashes into the clinch, drags you to the ground, and then begins to work his game, which is like very suffocating top game. Like I said, making purposeful mistakes to give you a backdoor out of it, but requiring you to scramble. And at middleweight, that's exhausting. And he has a really good balance on top, or really good balance in scrambles, so he doesn't get as tired. And so you just exhaust yourself trying to keep this dude off you. Israel
Do you
Adesanya
think?
actually has good takedown defense, and so does
Yeah,
Izzy.
I was gonna. Oh, you mean Robert? Robert and Izzy?
Who did I say?
You said Izzy twice.
Oh, yeah, Robert Whitaker and Izzy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you don't think that would be a good, quote unquote, like fraud check or challenge for
No,
Anthony
because it's not even
Hernandez?
like a fraud check. It's just like they're both still very good and they can beat contenders, but like they're not gonna ever fight for the title again because they can't beat the upper echelon of contenders. They can't beat Sean Strickland. They can't beat Rainier DeRitter. They can't beat Dricus Duplessis. They can't beat Hamzat Chimaev. So like, why knock off one extra contender? Right? I'd
Mm.
prefer they knock off people that are like Brendan Allen. Like, let's get him the fuck out of here. We don't need Brendan Allen in this top 5, top 10. Let's have
All
him
right.
fight that. Right? Like let's have them like really let's have them be kind of like the controlled burn in the 15 through 10 ranking spot to make sure that all of these like up and comers that aren't actually very good, then get rid of them. Right?
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Like, let's do Israel Adesanya and Paulo Costa again. Let's get Paulo Costa fully out of the top 15. We don't need him there
Uh,
anymore. Doesn't make any sense, right? Robert Whitaker against Brendan Allen. That sounds good to me. Like, let's just get Brendan Allen out of there. He doesn't need to be there. Um, but like, why spoil this cool thing with Anthony Hernandez? You know,
all right. All right.
that's what I say.
I,
And
it's
also, like
just
in his post-fight speech, he said he was gonna smoke like 7 ounces of weed, and I was like, God damn, man, going hard. Go for it. I'm into that.
all right. All right. I had
And
one more question about this fight card.
mhm.
Oh no, I actually had two questions. How did Andre Touchy Feely look?
He looked pretty good. There was a
Yeah.
moment where at the very last 10 seconds or 5 seconds, I think it was 10, his opponent pointed to the ground like Max Holloway, and he like shook his head and then like jabbed and moved off the center line. He was like, "Fuck no, I'm not doing that shit." And I was like, "You
Yeah.
know what? Good for you, Andre
Yeah.
Fili. Like, yeah,
Dude,
you don't have to do that."
these scores are all over the place. It was a split decision. You have 29-28, 28-29, and then 30-27.
Yeah, I would say probably I gave it 29-28, Andre Fili.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he looked good. I mean, he's Andre Fili, right? He's perennially this like gatekeeper to the top 15, right? He's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
actually in the
Yeah.
top 15, but you have to get through him if you ever have a hope of getting into the top 15. He's
Right.
like one of my favorite fighters, and I think one of the most underrated fighters when you look at his like resume, because like he's very good.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I
he
like him.
just he just and every now and then he peeks his head into the top 15 and then gets smashed out of there. But like, yeah, he's good. I like him. He's
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
he's
Okay.
good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did have one more question though. In the preliminary card, Elijah Smith versus Toshiomi Kazama,
Mhm.
you can. I thought you couldn't slam people anymore on the back of their head and neck.
You can't spike someone onto the top of their head,
Oh,
but
that's what
you
I'm
can
thinking.
slam. Yeah.
Okay.
This is welcome to the gym. Come on and slam. You're allowed to do it. Um, it's yeah, and it was dude, this was like a full Rampage Arona slam.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
throwing up a triangle, picked him up like
Picked him up and just slammed him down at
yeah.
bantamweight too. This was not, middleweight, light heavyweight, or heavyweight. This was like
Well,
littler
that's
guys doing that.
yeah, but that's not crazy, right? Because what? All you need to be able to deadlift to do a slam like that's like 150 pounds. Like we can all deadlift 150 pounds. Even I can. My fat ass can deadlift 150 pounds.
It's not just deadly. It's like arching back. It's almost like cleaning that.
Yeah, okay, but like we could do that. Like that's not you and I can do that. Like if we can do that, professional athletes should be able to do that. You know? Like that's not crazy.
I honestly just one. I thought it was illegal to slam someone like that still. But but now that you say spiking on top of the head, like from like if you're carrying someone on your back and you jump forward and spike them on their head, then yeah, that's the illegal thing.
Yeah,
But
or like suplexing someone where you spike them directly on their head, like kind of Kevin Randleman, Fedor Emelianenko.
yeah,
Like that's you can't do that. Um, but yeah, slamming is fine, right? Like you pick someone up and just like throw them to the ground. That's
What
that's no big deal.
I feel like slamming on the back of your head is kind of in the same vein. You know, like you may not break your neck in the same way as a spike would, but shouldn't get hit in the back of your head, man. Like that's like instant knockout right there.
Yeah, but, like, people's shins wrap around the back of people's heads, like,
Yeah,
people get kicked in the back of the head a ton for head kicks, because they
yeah.
kinda turn away. The back of your head's pretty strong, right?
Nah, you should be punched. You should be hitting the back of your head. That's like number one way to knock someone out, aside from like temple jaws, that kind of stuff.
Sure, but, like, number 1 beyond the other 2 ways. Like, it's kinda like, eh. I mean, dude, they're fist fighting in a cage, man. Like, this is
Yeah, I know. I know we're arguing on like very small things here, but it was something that I was not expecting to see. To happen in the UFC again. I was like, oh, like
nah, that's
okay.
cool shit. We need more cool shit in the UFC. So, I say it's awesome. Let's do it. Let's slam more people. Um, yeah. And also, like, if you're the motherfucker getting picked up at that moment, uh,
Let
about
go. Yeah,
halfway into your elevation, before you've even reached the zenith, you should probably
yeah.
let your legs go. Like,
Yeah,
just let it go.
just get rid of just get rid of the choke there. Like
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen.
exactly. This person's done all the effort to lift you up. So all you need to do is just move your legs and you're standing. Like, don't hold on for dear life. Like, that's the wrong thing to do. But apparently my man had not watched any like pre-2008 MMA and was like, this will totally work out fine. Despite the fact that like people got slammed routinely back in the day because they didn't realize, hey, holding on is a bad idea. Yeah. Anyway, so that was the card. It was whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It
But the
seemed like
big
kind of
news,
whatever.
Colin.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that came out Monday. Yeah,
Yeah, today. The
today.
well, we're recording this at 11:53 p.m. So just barely.
Yeah.
The UFC has announced their next broadcast deal starting in 2026 is a $7.7 billion
Yep.
deal. That's a billion with a B. That's nearly twice as much as Disney paid for the Star Wars IP. It is going to Paramount Plus, and that will account for 30 fight nights, which also include Apex cards, and 13 numbered pay-per-view events. However, Paramount Plus is no longer doing pay-per-view. So all
Yep.
43 events that are not Dana White Contender Series, Road to UFC, anything that is kind of like tangentially related, that isn't a fight night or an Apex card or what had previously been a pay-per-view card, will be entirely on pay-per-view plus. No more pay-per-view
Paramount
model.
Plus. Paramount Plus.
Paramount Plus, sorry. Paramount Plus. No more pay-per-view model. Everything for now, $12.99 a month, Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Colin, as the only American on this podcast, how do you feel about that deal?
Yeah. Well, first of all, hey, one UFC employee who listened to our podcast and said, I think Stu and Carl are right. I'm going to take their idea and do this. Good job. I give you all the credit. But
Yeah,
really, we all know it was you and me, baby. That's what
yep,
it came down to.
that's exactly right.
But yeah, I'm a little bit mixed with this because on the one hand, yeah, this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted it consolidated. We wanted to just get away from the pay-per-view model. I think all of this is like a step in the right direction. They even said they may have, I think, a few cards here and there, like some like bigger ones on CBS itself, because Paramount and CBS are like, I don't know if they said like guaranteed or whatnot, but I think there's supposed to be like a couple or
I,
something.
I think in a press release that came out afterwards, they said that they are assuming 50% or more of the UFC cards will be simultaneously telecast on CBS on
Wow.
streaming cable.
Yeah, that's a lot there. So
Yes.
and couple things on this. One, wasn't CBS the first major broadcasting network to do an MMA deal, and they did it with Strikeforce before Fox did the deal with the UFC? But then they had the major implosion of like the on live TV fight between the Diaz brothers and Jason Mayhem Miller. I'm pretty sure
Yes.
that was CBS, right?
100%. Yeah.
Oh
What was it?
yeah.
The brawl at fuck, I can't remember. But yeah, like they had the Mayhem Miller against the Diaz brothers and the whole Diaz Diaz Army camp on CBS. It was like this huge moment.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it was this
CBS
big
was
card.
yeah,
Yeah. It was the first, like, live event of a major MMA, organization. Strikeforce was the only competition to UFC at the time. They had some big name stars, and they put all their big names on this major card, and the Diaz brothers were part of it. That whole, Stockton fight camp. I think Gilbert Melendez was on it as well.
Jake
Um,
Shields, the
Jake
renowned
Shield.
anti-Semite. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. And it was like the last fight or the post fight, and Jason Mayhem Miller just came in wanting his rematch, like trying to call him out, and just a brawl broke out, and they just beat the shit out of Jason Miller
yeah, man.
on
It ended in
live national TV. And from that point forward, oh man, I remember like the broadcaster saying, "We're on national television live, gentlemen. You cannot do this." And it was like, "Oh, it's over. It's over for MMA. It's done."
yeah. And here we are back with Paramount Plus paying 7.7 million, despite the fact that Paramount Plus, as of today, has a market cap of 6.6 billion,
Wow.
paying more than their total market cap for the UFC. It
Yeah.
is crazy. And we thought maybe they'd go on ESPN, maybe they'd do part Netflix, but everything sounds like it is going to be via Paramount Plus.
Plus or CBS. Yeah. And like I said, I like it consolidated that way, and I do like the fact that we're getting rid of the pay-per-view model. It's funny because my housemate and I just got Paramount Plus because we actually want to watch fucking South Park of all things.
There you go.
So now we're gonna get UFC, and yeah, I'm with it. I do have a very small. It's not that small. I am concerned because of the whole like Paramount and CBS doing their whole fucking like appeasement with Trump and the administration, and I'm afraid they'll just be. I'm afraid that this will just become like an extension of like furthering the whole like right wing sports washing that we've been talking about at length since this administration has taken over. And this is
Right?
like
Like
the arm for it.
if the UFC does host an event on the White House lawn, is that streamed on CBS?
Oh God, fuck if I know.
Right? Like
Yeah, it
that's
will. Do you know how long this deal's for? I thought I saw it for it was 7
7 years.
years. Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
it's going to extend beyond this administration. So
Oh, Colin, come now. You think this administration has an end date?
come on, help me out, man.
Oh, motherfucker, you need to wake up. Like
Come
this
on, don't
this
say
is
that shit.
this is it until something happens, which if I say it on this podcast, they might not let me into the country. Like yeah, man. This is the next 5 to 10 years of your life.
Yeah, man, that's
Our lives.
yeah,
And
and
that's not
that's the
even
thing.
counting when Baron assumes the throne, right? Like, do you think I'm joking? Just
I
wait.
know, I know,
Just wait.
but
Which,
yeah.
with this Paramount Plus deal, Colin, we can finally bring back a segment that we haven't done in a long time, but we had started at the beginning of this year, which is called Colin's Crystal
Oh,
Balls,
here we go.
in
Yeah,
which
it's been
I
a while.
propose 6 questions to Colin about if he could look into his crystal balls to see the future, what would he tell me?
Mm, let me gaze
So,
deeply.
gaze deeply into those balls, Colin,
Gotcha.
knowing Paramount Plus only costs $12.99 a month now, and they've sworn that in January 2026 they will not up their prices, despite the fact that they just over leveraged themselves by $1.1 billion to get a single IP on their platform. Colin, how long until they up their monthly cost on Paramount Plus? And by
I
how much at the end of this 7-year deal will it have
Oh
gone up?
shit. At the end of the 7-year deal, dude, I can tell you right now by this time next year is going to go up. Whether it's by like just that, oh, it's just $2 or even $5, or which I actually think is more likely, they're going to have like a sports streaming add-on package where it's like Paramount Plus is your baseline amount, and then for like another $5 a month, you get all this extra stuff.
Mm, makes sense. Makes sense.
That
So
that's my prediction.
2 to
But
5 bucks in the first month, and then an entirely separate package at
no,
the
I
end of the
think
7-year deal.
I think like $2 to $4. So it's right now $12.99. I think it'll get to around 16 or 17 by this time next year. So it's not
Wow.
going to happen right at the start of 2026, but probably like June, July, something like that.
Yeah, hell, I mean, that's only 6 months into this deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like I think they'll start to put more stuff on it, like more NFL stuff and any other sports stuff. Maybe they do a doesn't Paramount have a deal with a like Champions League out in Europe?
I think so. They have some deal with, like they have a few NFL games. I know they have a few soccer games. I'm not sure exactly, um,
Yeah.
what their spread is. I don't have Paramount Plus, and yeah. I'm
Yeah.
also in
So,
Canada, so, like, the rights are not impacted, by this
yeah.
deal.
Yeah. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think by a year or two, okay, definitely by 2 years from today, they're going to have a different sports add-on package that the UFC is going to be part of.
So with this deal, each event, fight night or so currently on their deal, for pay-per-view events, they get paid $20 million by ESPN, and then they get a certain amount beyond a certain sell threshold on pay-per-view.
Mhm.
Below that, they get anywhere between 5 to 10 million. Without pay-per-view and having everything being treated the same, they get $25 million. This is the UFC per event. That's an Apex slot card. That's a stacked pay-per-view card.
Jeez.
25 million flat. Do you predict that the product over the next at least 2 years will become even more watered down and garbage, or will the UFC continue to try to make marquee events over the next 3 or 4 years? Because there's no financial incentive really, pay-per-view wise or contractually with their distribution partners, to make one event more special than the other.
So let me ask you just a clarifying question really quickly. It doesn't really impact my answer. I'm just more curious. That 25 million figure that you said, is that purely from the site fee or does that all inclusive of like the network deal, like per quote unquote event or whatever, or what? Where's that money coming
Okay,
from?
so clarifying. Um, so the site fee, a site fee is when the actual state or province or country pays for it to be hosted there,
Yep,
right?
yep, yep.
Right now, ESPN pays them a flat fee of $20 million per pay-per-view they put on the ESPN Plus app, and then 5 to 10 million per their Apex card or their Fight Night card, right?
Okay.
Depending on what it is. The 25 million is just that they will receive from Paramount Plus. That does not include ticket sales, that does not include site fee from whatever location they're going to.
Oh
That doesn't
shit.
include sponsorships, it doesn't include anything. It's
Wow.
just what they get from the singular United States broadcast rights.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man, 1.1 billion a year for just the United States broadcast rights. Not sponsorships, not where they're hosting it, not tickets they sell, right? Not the ad inventory they sell against it.
Yeah.
Just for Paramount Plus to be have the ability to be the sole provider of that
That that's
content.
wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it is wild, man.
Okay. All right. Well, knowing that, it does again, it doesn't really impact my answer. I don't think they will make that much of an effort to make big marquee events. I
Mm,
think if someone happens to come along that can become a superstar that could sell more like extra things and they can
mhm,
market around it like an Ilya Taporia. He's really the only one I can think of off the top of my head right now that has that kind of aura, I guess you could say, or that kind of
mhm,
draw. Especially since there's such an untapped market for him in Spain and in Europe as a whole.
mhm,
But will the UFC make a bigger effort to do that? I don't fucking know. Probably not. Like, there's no
mhm.
real incentive when you have all this here. It's just extra on top.
Mhm.
So it's like, is it really worth it for them to do all this extra effort? Probably not, unless someone from Paramount Plus wanted to really push, or Paramount as a whole really want to push a certain fighter, which I feel like they don't really have that much skin game for that. You know what I mean?
I mean, they have so much skin in the game that it's more than they fucking are worth.
Let me rephrase that. They don't have the knowledge, or there's no, like, where's the motivation for them to come to market certain fighters now?
Oh, you mean the UFC or Paramount Plus?
Paramount Plus.
Uh, they well, I mean, they need to protect this investment, right?
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
they definitely need to protect this investment. Um, but I mean, it's gonna be dependent on the UFC
Mhm.
overall. Yeah, because I guess like what are they hoping for? Which kind of leads me to like my next few questions. So you think the product will be watered down even more,
So
2026 compared to 2025?
okay,
Because
so
there's no incentive to like even put on big pay-per-views to drive big pay-per-views.
right. So, like, okay, like, just to break even on the, and it's not this is not how financials work at all, but, like, if they did, okay, if it costs them 25 million to do each card, right? Let's say they do 2 cards on average. That's not what they're gonna do, but let's say they do 2 cards per month, okay?
Mhm,
That's 50 million that they're spending, right?
mhm.
And if each user pays $13, they need 3.8 million users,
Yeah. Oh,
How
yeah.
many people are
Which
signed up for Paramount Plus right now?
right, exactly. How many are UFC fans that are gonna move over to Paramount Plus so for this? And how much is the UFC really, like, betting on making that, like, really trying to push people to do that, you know?
Okay, well, Paramount Plus has 79 million subscribers worldwide, apparently. So
Cool. What
getting
was
an
their
extra.
what was their profit last quarter?
Oh, no, I
Oh,
don't know about
it
that.
was a loss of $110 million? Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they Paramount Plus has never been in the black for a single quarter.
Did you say
Ooh.
no streaming has been in the black, right? Except for
Besides
Netflix?
Netflix.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Just eating dick constantly, man. Like so let's move on. Let's move on. Number 3.
Okay.
We know that in the UFC, the biggest thing to become is a champion. Not only because you have the belt, but because you get pay-per-view points.
Oh, yeah. What is gonna
What
happen
do
with
you predict?
that?
Yeah, what do you predict happens with pay-per-view points overall, or does it simply go away
It's just gonna go away.
and there'll be nothing to replace it, you don't think?
No, I think more fighters will change to kinda like that flat fee that
Mhm.
various higher end fighters have. So, like,
Mhm.
on the one hand, I think some of the lower tier fighters will get a minor pay bump,
Mhm.
maybe, but then there's no upper there's no greater grasp, there's no greater echelon that, other fighters, like, the more established or bigger draws can bring in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that is, I did not think, I thought, like, "Oh, great, no more pay-per-views, great," I don't have to spend extra money. I was like, "Oh, yeah," but then again, like, a lot of these fighters weren't getting pay-per-view points because they weren't actually hitting the minimum number, right?
Well, that is true as of late. Like, they haven't been hitting the minimum number to even be getting that pay, but it was still within their contract and still something that if there was a big card,
Right, right.
these fighters could look forward to.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
And now is it something where the UFC pockets 7.7 billion without sharing any of the wealth with the fighters, and actually even less wealth is distributed to them, despite this being a historically large sports deal, and they just have to eat dick on 10 and 10 contracts.
Yep.
Yeah. So pay for fighters just gets worse, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I wi
All right.
that is, again, wishing for something that would never happen, I wish Paramount Plus or whoever got the streaming rights would put something in their contract or clause that fighters have to have like a greater baseline pay, but they won't.
Oh,
But
you're hoping a giant media conglomerate looks out for the little man, Colin?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know I'm fucking stupid. And like, we've
That's
talked at
just some
length.
stupid shit.
Our brains are mashed potatoes. Mashed
Yeah.
potatoes over here, you know? I
Yeah.
wish I could dream.
Yeah. That's about right. All right, 3 more. Number 1.
That's a bummer that I could dream.
Yeah, it is a bummer. It is a bummer. Um, wake up and smell what the coffee, my man. Yeah,
Yeah, it
the,
fucking
the
sucks, man.
fighters and the fighters did this to themselves. They didn't fucking unionize. They didn't sign their cards. They didn't do anything. And so, where in the or not the UFC, is it the NBA? 49% of any new deal goes directly to the athletes. Like the fighters could have seen 49% of 7.7 billion. And
Mm,
instead they will see none. They will see
yep.
none of it. They will see none of it overall. Which isn't good for the sport either, because less people will be interested in getting into it. We talked about it, and it sucks. All
Yep.
right, last three. 25 million per card.
Mm.
We know that they have a market cap, Paramount Plus, of 6.6 billion, and they're over leveraging themselves by $1 billion, which is almost 20%. Over leveraging themselves basically by 127%. To get into this business, which means they're going to have interest on that loan wherever they took that loan from. They're paying $25 million per card, despite it being Apex Slop, great pay per view, a mediocre fight night card. How long until they realize we need to bring back the pay per view model because we are not making the money
Oh.
back we thought we would?
Oh. Oh. Hmm.
Because how much ad
Damn.
inventory are you selling against Tatsuro Taira versus Young Park, whatever the fuck? Like, how many
Yeah.
eyeballs are on that? Not a lot.
Actually,
Not a lot, man.
actually, that's a good question. Do they have any say in what cards are going to be made, or like how many fights, or who's going to be on said cards? Or is that still all in control of the UFC?
I'm sure it's all in the control of the UFC, but
Ah.
I'm sure that if shit starts going really bad and they go, hey, this viewership is not justifying the amount we put in, there could be pressure. But again, they've signed the contract. The deal's done, right?
Hmm.
If you overspend on a bad bill of goods, like you're stuck with the shit sandwich, man. But they could at any moment go, "Hey, we're gonna go back to the pay-per-view model." Right? We asked for those 43 events. We are allowed on our platform to charge extra for those events.
Mhm.
Or like you said, say, "Hey, actually the UFC is gonna be a separate premium bundle that you need to pay for. So it can't just be $12.99. You gotta pay $29.99 per month
Mhm. Mhm.
because we need to
I
make back our investment."
Yeah, that kinda goes in line with what I was saying before about creating a new sports package, like an
Mhm.
add-on. That I think is more likely than actually bringing back the pay-per-view model.
Okay, so you don't think the pay-per-view model will come back, but you think a premium package might
Yes, yeah,
emerge. Okay.
because I think
Okay.
they'll do that. I think they'll see that, like, the declining pay-per-view numbers means that they'll just carry that burden now, and I think it's much more likely to get more people to fight on a smaller amount.
Man, it's like I just don't know how many. You know that there's about 100,000 to 200,000 hardcore UFC fans, right? That's usually what
Mhm.
the pay-per-view numbers are around. It's like 100,000 to 200,000. So
Sure,
you're gonna
okay.
get 100,000 to 200,000 migrate off of ESPN Plus to come over to Paramount Plus.
Alright, let's say 200,000, just on
Yeah.
the high estimation there, okay, so
Yeah.
that's what? That's 2.6 million right there. So a tenth of what they need
Yeah.
per
Per
card.
card.
Not even yeah. If they
And
did
we know
one
that
card a
there's
month.
2 to 3 cards a month. Yeah, yeah. How many people are on, like, because I guess the thing is, like, being on ESPN, the goal was the ESPN Plus product had a bunch of other sports fans who would tangentially go, "Oh, the UFC is also on here. I'll jump on it." Or if they were gonna go to Netflix, the benefit for the UFC was to go, hey, look at all these people who never thought of the UFC as something I want to watch, but since they have access to this platform, they will see it at the very front of their feed for Netflix and then will watch it, right? There's great exposure, there's great brand awareness, right? There's a much easier barrier to entry for engagement with new fans. Paramount Plus is not, I don't even think it's in the top 5 streaming services by number of subscribers in the United States, right? It's not Netflix, it's not YouTube Red or YouTube Premium, whatever the fuck it's called. It's not Max, it's not Amazon Prime, it's not Hulu.
Right.
So who, you're getting dudes like you watching South Park, or you're getting like boomers who want to watch more Yellowstone or some shit. Like, are these the people that are gonna like drive the numbers for UFC adoption and UFC fandom?
Well, it's interesting because CBS has a lot of access to a lot of different sports, and
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to add in more because right now, you've got football, on
Mhm.
CBS, including like Thanksgiving games that are like a big hype and everything, and playoff games. Uh, Big Ten football, which apparently is really big too. I don't really watch college football as much anymore, so but whatever. You have college basketball.
Ugh.
You've got, like we talked about, the UEFA Champions League, so they provide access to every match in the Champions League, so that's pretty big. Um, if you're into soccer, and then they have
But
also like PGA and the Masters and stuff like
yeah,
that.
but
So it's like they're branching out to other ones.
are these the carryover sports that are going to get people interested in you? Like, I just have doubts. There's like this untapped well of people with a subscription to Paramount Plus who are like, oh my god, now that the UFC's here, I'm titillated and I'm ready to go. Like
No,
that
but
doesn't.
that 18 to what is it, 25, 28 demographic
Hmm.
does watch Big Ten football. They watch college basketball. They watch the NFL. So you could get some carryover from that.
Maybe. Do they have dollars to spend on subscriptions to Paramount Plus?
Well, if they already subscribe, then yeah.
Or are their parents subscribe?
Sure.
Let's not get it twisted.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we're all poor out here. We're all
Yeah.
suffering. Uh
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, the 25-year-old demographic is like last generation's like 14 to 18-year-old. So like, and
yeah.
that's not saying it's not like they're bad. It's just like that's just the nature of things now. Like,
No, those poor bastards. Like they got literally the shortest end of the stick.
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I I
yeah,
legitimately feel for them. Like it's bro, a bad time. A bad
yeah,
time had bio.
yeah. It's
So,
not good times.
all right. Not pay-per-view, but a sports package to try to justify this.
Yeah,
Do you
especially
think
if they
how
especially if they add in more sports. Like if they get like the NBA, or if they get baseball or
but
tennis or
I mean,
any other
can
shit, I think they
can
will
they
do that.
afford to over leverage themselves? They've already over leveraged themselves by 27%, $1.1 billion they've over leveraged themselves on a single thing, the UFC. Can they afford the NBA? Can they afford MLB to then make a package, or do they have to go to the pay-per-view model? Even if they only get 100,000 pay-per-view buys, that's 89.99 per pay-per-view buy. It at
Well,
least makes up for something.
here's the thing: didn't Paramount just merge with another major media
Skydance, and
company? Yeah.
and that's why this actually, because apparently Paramount was only going to do the 30 Fight Night and Apex cards, and then the pay-per-views were gonna live at ESPN, but then when Skydance bought it, Skydance went, "No, we want all of it because we wanna be the exclusive distributor, and that'll be a selling point."
Mhm.
I think that's a bit silly. I think they
Mhm.
fucked up. I think they fucked up. Alright, last 2 questions.
All right, hit me.
Anytime they've moved to a big, new platform, whether it was the Fox Sports era, where they started with Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos in
Yeah.
that only the main event,
Yeah, yeah.
card, yeah, which was silly because it ended in, like, 56 seconds, or when they went to ESPN, which it was the Henry Cejudo, TJ Dillashaw, and I can't remember the co-main event on that one. It was another title fight, I believe, or, like, a big fight.
Mhm.
Um, they always kinda go big when they go to brand new,
Mhm. Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
streaming services or channels.
Mhm.
What would you suspect is the main event and co-main event for January of this year when they first touched down in their biggest
Oh.
deal ever on Paramount Plus?
Mm. Good question. Do you have an idea of who it might be, or
No, that's why I asked you. No, I mean, I
uh,
have, like, kind of an
oh,
idea, but, yeah.
Ilya fighting.
Yeah, who?
He's I don't know, fuck. He doesn't have a fight scheduled yet. No.
No.
Um,
Ilya Armin? Ilya and Justin Gaethje? Ilya Paddy Pimblett?
God, that would an Ilya Patty Pimblett fucking starter fight like that. Where have we um
My guess is it has to be the US time zone, right? You're not gonna do an Azerbaijan where it's
no,
early or Abu Dhabi where it's early.
no,
It
gonna be
has
Las
to be
Vegas.
USA. Yeah.
It's gonna be a big event. It's gonna be Ilya. He's really the only like main headline who doesn't have a fight scheduled yet. You know, I guess Volk doesn't have a fight scheduled yet either. But
Yeah, you could do Volk.
okay, I think that's what it'll be. It'll be Volk defending his title and Ilya doing his first title defense. A double.
Wow, so
And come
wow,
because that,
alright.
you can get the card with those two fights, right?
Sorry?
You could get behind a major card with those two fighting, right?
Hell yeah.
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 I think they gotta pull out all the stops for this, you know?
I mean, they don't got it, they already got the contract fucking signed. But
Yeah.
if they were to try to entice new fans or people who hadn't seen the UFC before because they're on a brand new service,
Yeah.
Ilya's not bad, though he is from Spain, right? It would be
Yeah.
weird to have him fight in the US.
But
Alexander
he
Volkanovski's
does put on electrifying fights that would get new fans or new people like hype behind him and they could build around him. He would
Mhm.
be the one superstar that the UFC could build around right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. What about Max Holloway versus Dan Hooker for the BMF belt? And Max Holloway is the crowning jewel to kind of welcome
Mm.
them into it. And it's US time zone. Maybe it takes place in Hawaii. Maybe it takes place in
Oh,
Las Vegas.
yeah, it's not going to be in Hawaii. There's no way.
Well, it doesn't matter about anything else. They've got so much fucking money now. Like, it doesn't like yearly they're making more than double they're making now. Like
Yeah.
now they can sacrifice a little. Will they?
Mm.
Probably not, but like if you wanted to make one big splash, why not do Max in Hawaii with Dan Hooker?
So with this, I am more inclined for them to think. I am more in the mind that okay, for Max's retirement fight, they will go now because it's like you said, they don't have to worry too much about their bottom line
Yeah.
anymore. You know,
Mhm.
um, yeah. So I think that will happen, but I don't think of the first card.
Got it. Yeah, I don't know, because that's where you announce yourself and try to get people to capture the of the 79 million people who are Paramount Plus right now who aren't UFC fans, try to get them to watch UFC as well as people that aren't UFC fans or are UFC fans to jump ship to get to Paramount Plus.
I mean, it would not. I would not be surprised if they didn't do something that like that was like UFC 300 esque with this because it's such a big deal. You know, so
Well,
having
but
two championship fights and a BMF type fight, I could see that happening.
I think you're crazy to think that they would do that just because they got more money right now. They'd be like, fuck it. We've got 43 events this year. We'll do one big splash and then fuck it. We're
And the
right
rest
back
is
to
slop. Yeah.
yeah, then we're right back to middleweights at the apex, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that first one, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Think
Yeah.
about the card. Okay. The third to last fight is uh fucking Max and Dan Hooker. Started off so hot for the BMF title. Okay. Then you
Awesome.
got Volk versus I don't know who the fuck.
Oh no, you gotta have an opponent. You can't just say
I
Volk
know.
randomly.
Volk against what? Does Evelev have a fight yet?
Well, he was supposed to fight Aaron Pico, but then Lerone Murphy is filling in. So it could be Lerone Murphy or Aaron Pico against Volk.
Okay. Um. Yeah. Okay. Lauren Murphy then. Fine. And then Ilya Topuria against who? Armand, Justin Gaethje,
Paddy Pimblett.
Patty Pimblett. I don't think Patty Pimblett deserves a
I
title
mean,
shot, but
I know they like to do it, and like I could see maybe two big fights, probably one big title fight. Like if they're gonna throw Ilya on there or Alex, because they're both kind of big names, they probably wouldn't have a Max Holloway as well as the BMF on there.
yeah,
I could see more of a like Kayla Harrison versus someone, and
ugh,
like then maybe a Ilya or a Volk on that card just to kind of splash it up. But it's gonna definitely need to be in the US because it needs to be US time zone because this is primarily a US deal. I
yeah,
think solely the US deal at the moment. Um,
yeah. I don't think it. Yeah, I don't know.
yeah. So I don't know. It's or dude, do they just is this when we really see the UFC just doesn't give a shit and they're like, I don't know,
Just
man.
phone it, fuck it
It's
in.
yeah. They're like, I don't know. It's a Michelle Pereira versus
If
Stephen Wonderboy Thompson moving up to 185. Fuck it.
they don't
Like something
have,
like that.
if they don't have Ilya or Volk or Max, any one of those three headlining their very first main event of this new deal, then yeah, they've totally they phoned it in. They fucked up. They're just like, nope, I don't care. I'm not gonna do this.
Well, I'll
Like,
be interested to see that without like pay-per-view numbers, right? If the only thing they're beholden to is the gate now, that means that they're going to be mostly beholden to site fees, right? Because if every card is basically the same price, they don't need to try any harder because they're not trying to sell anything more,
right?
right? It might actually what it might make is like the pay-per-views and the on the road fight nights a little bit better, and the Apex cards even worse because
Mhm.
they need to sell. They're going to be reliant a little bit more on tickets to make up slightly more money, um, right? Since everything is going to be a flat fee when it comes to the
Mhm.
broadcasting rights, then it's a little bit more about ticket sales, which means the Apex could become even more sloppy.
Yeah,
And yeah, yeah. All right, last question. The fighters see that they're not getting paid anymore with this deal. Colin, do you
yeah.
think
Not
within the
getting paid
next
extra. You mean?
yeah, in the next 3 years, we'll see any level of revolt internally from the fighters against the UFC?
Hmm.
Simple yes or no.
Lifetime. I've seen a player strike in every major sport.
Sure.
You know, like
But they all
all the
have
major leagues.
unions,
They do have all of unions, and
and they all
so
voted for unions prior to doing those strikes.
yeah.
And the UFC fighters have roundly rejected, including Hinata Moicano, who gave back the money he received. Yes, roundly rejected
Wow.
any sort of
Um.
unionization, any sort of empowerment.
Yeah. I. That's interesting. I don't
The answer
know.
is no. They'll do fuck all. They'll do nothing. They've shown that
You,
they'll do nothing for the past 10 years. They're going to do nothing now.
yeah, but do you think? But do you think they're doing things which, okay, I'm just gonna like retire. I'm not gonna do this anymore, and then that would just be like the death of the sport.
Well, I think we definitely won't see a lot of like there won't be a lot of replacement. Like the MMA is kind of like Japan. Like there's just a lot of old people and not a lot of young people to replace them, you know what I'm saying? Um but I mean, look, man, dude, if you're 35 and this is your only skill, what profession are you going to go do after this?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Like I mean, we're both from the USA. Remember the hand wringing, and even it happens a little bit now. The hand wringing, moan about what are coal miners going to do when we shut down coal? What are they going to do? We got to train them. How are they going to do these things? Like,
Hmm.
dude, you know what's an even more specialized skill, which has less application to the real world than coal mining, and that's fist fighting for. Like, you're not gonna go work an HR fucking job. You're not gonna go into marketing. You're not like, oh, I actually am really good at like human resources
Right,
because I beat
right.
people for like coal mining people at least understand like, hey, I know how to shift works. I know how to like organize a group and lead a team. MMA people don't know how to do that. So like what legitimately, what job is Bobby Knuckles gonna have if he decides he just wants to walk away, right?
Yeah.
Or Israel Adesanya. Like, does motherfucker know how to, like, open up a workday ticket? Does he know what, like, ADP is? Like, no, probably not. So they're that generation's not gonna be able to do anything. But I think what it will mean is that, like, people will just less and less be going into the sport, which we've already seen.
Yeah, yeah, that's yeah. I think it'll just reinforce that then.
Yeah, and so the question is, like, 5 years from now, like,
It's
are
like
we working
it's
are
a
we
sport then, because most of these people you're saying are already in the twilight of their career. They're like
yeah.
within those 5 years will probably either willfully retire or be like, well, can't compete anymore, like either cut or whatever. So
Seem yeah, I think, dude, in the end of this deal, 7 years? I mean, if we're even all alive, doubt, but, like, yeah, man, yeah, the UFC, the MMA will just not be. It's really it's really strange where, like, the beginning of the end oftentimes feels just like the middle, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
yeah,
and that's
yeah.
kinda where we're at, on this, yeah.
God, this was supposed to be like I know it's been marketed as like a very positive thing, but did we just expose it as being like, oh, this is the start of the end? Like we're here for it now.
Well, yeah, like, I saw that and I went like, "Oh, no more pay-per-view. Okay, so great. So there's no more, like, monetary incentive to try hard," right?
Mm,
They doubled the amount they make per year despite not changing their product at all, and in fact, their product getting worse since the ESPN deal kicked in.
mm,
And then it being like this thing of, well, how do people get paid if there's no pay-per-view? Doesn't sound like there's any extra incentive share built into this contract,
right.
right? And what are the fighters gonna do?
Mm,
Sounds like fuck all. So, yeah, I saw this and I was like, it's cool because you get to pay way less for the slop that we're getting,
yeah.
right? Which is nice. But I just go like, all it does then is it means, right? It's if a really nice restaurant was like, everything is gonna be 6.99 all you can eat. There's no way the restaurant can sustain high quality food at that price point.
Right.
So they're gonna just turn it into like sneeze guard buffet food. And like that's cool because we all go, "Oh my god, it's so great that this restaurant that I like, that's like, middle tier is going to 6.99 all you can eat," not realizing that, okay, the trade-off will be that either they have to raise their prices at some point to keep the level of quality, or they're just gonna drop their quality to meet that level of pricing.
Right.
There's no way that they can, well, they can, but there's to give, you know, 2x the level quality for the price you're giving.
Yeah.
There's no way. That's not how that's not how life works. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what I saw when I saw this deal. I was like, "Oh, wow, all of them is gonna be in one place, love it. Oh, no more pay-per-view?" And then I went, "Oh, wait, how are fighters gonna get paid?
Yeah.
If there's no pay-per-view, are they even gonna try for pay-per-views, or are they just gonna be like, 'Well, fuck it, like, we'll just put a title fight regardless of who it is,' you know, and, like, it doesn't really matter. We still have to make those 43 events per year, so we're still beholden to the calendar, so if just like we talked about with Tatsuro Taira, like, rather than just pulling him from that event at, the UFC Apex and moving him to, like, fight Steve Erceg, they were like, "No, we have to keep him because he's the marquee for this Apex." They're gonna maintain that, but they get paid 2x the amount that they got paid before,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "So why would you can care 2x less?"
Yeah.
Like, it's who ca you know? Um, but yeah, it could have been exciting, Colin, but look, that's not the world that we live in.
No, no. You've pointed out the major flaws in this plan. While everyone else is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be paying less. And even me, like, oh, I'm gonna be paying less, right? I'm not gonna have to like stream this, or whatever. You know, I even pulled out
It's
as the thing that I wanted last week, and now
it's
that we're getting it, it's like, oh, actually, there's a lot of things we didn't consider.
it's the thing I had said about, like, all these quote unquote disruptor industries. We paid less for Uber to get rid of taxis, and now we have taxis or the price of taxis just done by Uber drivers. So we
Yeah, who
get
are worse.
yeah, the same quality or no, the same price product for a lesser quality. We
Mhm.
got rid of television. We got rid of like movie theaters so we could have Netflix. So now we have Love Island and fuck all else for the same price of movies and television, right? We go these great disruptor things. They give us these things cheaper, but at what cost? And then it ends up being where I really think at the end of this 7-year deal, it will be just as expensive as buying pay-per-views to watch the
Mm,
UFC, right? Like, I
okay.
think by the end of the 7 years, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we gotta up this," and they're gonna up it. It's gonna be like 12.99, and then suddenly it's gonna be and then soon it's gonna be like 59.99. You're gonna be paying
Mhm.
basically the same amount, or they'll create, like you said, a package where, "Actually, we're gonna go back to the pay-per-view model, but don't worry, you're only paying 39.99 monthly,
Right.
but then it's only 20 bucks for a pay-per-view." And you're like, "Well, that's the same as if it was 12.99 and I was paying a $50." Right? They're gonna figure out a way to finagle,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it turns out the reason that the prices were the prices that they were is because that was the way to make businesses profitable. And then everyone went, "What if we can make them profitable by being free?" It's like you see it with like gaming, right? And they're like, "Well, how come how come games are using loot boxes and shit? Or how come games are being pay to win?" It's because we've kept the price of games the same amount as they were in like the year 2000. And so they have to make up the money somewhere else, and they make it up with loot boxes and all this other shit. It's
Mhm.
gonna be the same thing with anyway. But
Yeah.
for the first 6 months of this, unless the pay-per-view or unless the cards that the OC gives are like absolute dog shit, which they might be. But at least for those first 6 months, it'll probably stay at 12.99. So it
Yeah,
will be
yeah.
cheaper. And we'll get to watch a couple of pay-per-views for like really cheap. But here's the thing also. I don't know if any of you know, but there's things called like buff stream. You don't need to pay for the UFC. And that's all I'll say. Anyway, anything else you want to talk about, Colin?
Man, I thought it was gonna be all positive tonight, but nope. Right back to our normal ways. Doom and
Look, man,
gloom.
I don't even mean to be doom and gloom. It's just like life is there's not a lot to be excited about at this moment. Now, here's the thing. We're gonna talk about Hamza Chimaev, Drix Duplessis. That's something to be excited about. That's a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
sunshine. That's a little ray of stupid shit that I'm excited for.
yeah.
But no, when it comes to the actual business practices of modern like conglomerate America, no, it's all doom and gloom. There's nothing really good going on. There's no like Nestle going, "Oh shit, we're actually gonna like not privatize water." Like that's not happening, right? um, so yeah, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. What are we talking about next time, Colin?
Well, we're doing our fucking picks, right?
Yeah, yep. That's right. That's right.
That's it.
Well, now here's my thing. Or I guess last question. This is the seventh bonus question for Colin's Crystal Balls.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is
Bonus question.
the the last pay-per-view on ESPN Plus this December more stacked or less stacked than the first numbered event, non-pay-per-view, what would have been a pay-per-view on Paramount Plus in January?
Ooh. Okay, well, what is the fight at the end of this year?
And we don't have one yet. So the
Oh,
question is, do they try to stack it? Or do
man.
they go, fuck it, we're gonna save it for like do they give us some like Amir Albazi, Brandon Moreno 2 shit as the headliner for the pay-per-view in December and then give us the Ilya or Volkanovski fight in January?
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's 100% gonna happen.
Just spitting in the eyes of fans, being like, "Still pay for it, you bitches," and then
Yeah.
spit in our faces. All right. All right. Ugh. Well, supposedly, we're 2 fight fans. I'm one fight fan, Stuart.
I'm a, a sad fight fan now, Colin.
I mean, there's no other way to be. And join us on Friday. Look, we're actually excited. This is a good card. DDP versus Hamza Chimaev, Lerone Murphy, Aaron Pico. Other fights, which I've forgotten, but I know we're good. We're gonna make full picks. and I will continue to beat Colin's ass in making the correct picks.
Hold on, you're up by like 2 points right now. Let's not get it twisted.
Yeah, yeah, that's the qualification for beating ass. 2
Yeah, all
points.
right.
That's all it takes.
I got you. I got you. This coming. I'm coming back, baby.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye bye.